You stole the bunny from your brother, but he's sleeping. That's okay. You ready to go?
Yep.
Okay. What's up, guys? It's another awesome day. If you haven't noticed already, doing things is kind of like our thing. We are headed to Chelan. It's this cute little town on the other side of the mountains. We're taking Carol with us, so that's why I got a handful of dead birds. This will be kind of cool. If you guys didn't see the free fly video that we did recently, we let Carol go. She flew back to us. We've been training in our yard, and so this is gonna be kind of risky because we're gonna go fly here in like a totally unknown area, like a couple hours away. So this is about a 4.5 hour trip over the mountains. Tons of beautiful scenery. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for joining us today. Consider hitting that subscribe button, and if you're a frequent flyer, hit the thumbs up button. It does more than you think to help me out. And also, you might be noticing my shirt. We have.
Don't call it merch.
I don't like calling it merch, but that's what everybody calls it. So anyways, all of the regular YouTuber advertisements are over. Let's get into the video.
So we're not moving. It didn't work out. The property sold. But, you know, it was a really good thing for us, and for me in particular, because it kind of brought up some new things and kind of exposed that I have a little bit of postpartum depression that I'm dealing with right now, which is really hard to diagnose when you're so happy with your life, but for some reason you're like not happy. So
It has a lot to do with hormones.
a lot to do with hormones. So if you're going through something similar, it's hard to diagnose, but happens to everyone.
This is baby making hormones.
Dude, babies mess you up.
Quick stop at the post office to check the P.O. box to see if you fellas have sent me anything. This is from Kai Kelly, Big Island Overland.
Trail mix.
Trail mix, or BBs or something. Maybe it's snacks for our road trip. Oh.
Ooh, is that coffee?
Kona, it's my favorite. My favorite coffee is.
We love coffee.
Oh, smell it. Ahi Farms. I hope I'm saying that right. Ahi Farms. I love Hawaii. Hawaii is literally like one of my most favorite places in the world. We go there as often as we can. Thank you, man. That's awesome. We'll have to give this a try at your parents' house. I'm excited.
So good.
We have pulled over for maybe the third time for bathroom breaks. This is just the way it goes. This is a 4.5 hour trip. We'll probably have 5, maybe 6 bathroom breaks in. We pretty much stop every 40 minutes. Ah, that's my girl. Yes, Red Bull! Good morning, guys. It is a beautiful morning out here. Today is pretty much full of opportunity. We don't know what we're going to do today, really, aside from tell you guys a little bit about falconry. But I think we're also going to want to go explore some trails, and I don't know, but we got to start this off at a coffee shop because I need to get some coffee. I think I'm going to go sled that hill right there. Sterling, you going to try the sled? Oh yeah.
We are on our way to Starbucks because Max needs more coffee.
You need coffee too. You just don't act like I'm the one who needs coffee.
Max has a problem.
Whatever.
Small addiction.
I don't need coffee.
We're gonna go get coffee and plan out our day and figure out where we're gonna fly Carol. And it's absolutely beautiful outside.
Beautiful outside. You want to go back to bed? No, back to bed. I said no. Let's go. Get out my way, door. All right, it is about time to get Carol ready to free fly. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about 10 reasons why not to get into falconry or not to own a hawk, more specifically. Before I say all this is not really normal for me to make a video discouraging someone from doing something, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I just want to, I've put the idea into many people's heads that it would be awesome to own a hawk, and it is really awesome, but it comes with a lot of downsides, and there's a lot of reasons why you should not get involved, because it might not be right for everybody. So here we go, 10 reasons why you should not own a hawk. This list is not in any particular order at all. This is just a list. What I'm doing right now is I'm preparing some quail meat here. My number one is that you can't be squeamish at all, because you're gonna need to cut into dead flesh and handle it with your bare hands all the time. Like this, dead animals, you cannot be afraid to touch and smell meat. Almost to help plead my case a little bit, you can see this quail that we bought. We bought it killed and frozen, had an egg inside of it. So I can already see why there's people out there that wouldn't want to do this, because you got to cut up these animals and feed them to the bird. It's a part of life, but it's a part of life that some people don't choose to be a part of. And you have to get your hunter safety license to be able to do this, and you have to take the bird hunting, and it's going to kill rabbits and squirrels and other small birds and things like that, and you just have to be okay with facilitating or helping this animal kill other animals. Another one is you cannot be skittish at all. These birds, although kind of small, they're very intimidating. Their claws are razor sharp. When I first got involved in falconry, people said their claws are razor sharp, and I just kind of assumed they were exaggerating, but no, they are literally razor sharp. She sliced open my hands a number of times. She bites, claws, especially when she's hungry. She foots like that. You can't be skittish or afraid of them. It's kind of part of working with them. One of the biggest things that you have to remember, and this is number 3, is that you cannot be emotional or controlling with the hawk. The hawk's gonna do what the hawk's gonna do, and you're just kind of along for the ride. You need to be emotionally prepared for the bird to fly away after you've put all this investment of time and money and effort into them. You need to be in the right mindset that's okay with this animal like taking off. And sometimes you invest thousands of dollars in your bird, especially the people in the UK. They pay $800 to have a bird imported because they can't take native birds, and they might the bird just might fly away someday. So you kind of have to be in that mindset where you're mentally prepared to deal with that. Otherwise, you'll never let the bird free fly, and you'll never have any fun when you do free fly her. A hawk makes a terrible pet. They are not affectionate at all. If you want like a cuddly, cool, cute bird, then get a parrot, because hawks are terrible pets. I personally struggle with this a little bit because I want to pet her and I want her to be friendly towards me, and it's just not in their nature to be friendly. They're focused on one thing and one thing only, and that's survival and eating, which is part of survival. So it's very difficult to pet her. It's difficult to care for her. You constantly have to wear gloves. She doesn't mind being around me, but she doesn't want to be with me 24/7 like a dog would. So if you're looking for a pet, a hawk's not a good answer. A hawk is more of a companion. It's you and the hawk. It's not my hawk or my pet hawk. It's us as a team, and that's it's a difficult one to grasp sometimes for some people. All right, number 5, and this one's extremely important, and I touched on it a little bit already, but these birds are they are highly regulated. You cannot just go out on the street and catch one, and it's a big concern of mine that people watch my videos and think that they can, and you'll get yourself in a lot of trouble. You can go to jail, you can pay up to $200,000 in fines. These birds are protected under the Migratory Bird Act, and you should Google it if you're interested in this. It protects these birds very well. You can't even own a feather from these birds if you don't have a falconry license. If you can't prove that you have a falconry license, you will get a fine. They're very strict on it, or send you to jail if you can't pay the fine. So it's very important that you don't just go out and get one. You need to follow the process. Now, I will make a video all about finding a sponsor, getting involved, a video just about how to get into falconry, how to get started. But first, we need to break you down. We got to discourage you. No, I just want to make sure that, like, if you get through this whole video and you're like, yeah, okay, I still feel mentally prepared, then I want to put out the video of how to get into it. Birds are messy. Number 6, super, super messy. Not terribly bad. I think parrots are probably worse. Hawks are messy. My most common question is, does she just go to the bathroom all over your house? The answer is yes and no. When we first got her, she did. She crapped all over the house. And it was basically just, I didn't really know her very well. You can kind of predict or time when these birds are gonna take a dump. And so as they're eating, you know they're probably gonna go to the bathroom, and then also directly after, they start pooping like crazy. Their digestive system is very simple. They have what's called a crop, where they store like feathers and bones and meat, and it breaks all that stuff down. Then they regurgitate the stuff that's hard to digest, and then the rest just goes through them really, really quick. But if I feed her, then she needs to go right back outside, because then she's just gonna start muting like crazy. So either I put her up on the perch, or I put her in her enclosure for the night and just let her get all that stuff out. I feel bad just making this list because I don't want to discourage anybody from doing this. It's so rewarding to me and so awesome. I love Carol. I love her. Carol, you're awesome. But people gotta know the downsides before you just like lead them blindly into keeping this little psychopath with knives for hands in your house. Dude, there was an egg inside the quail that I had to butcher this morning.
Oh.
Why? I talked about being squeamish as number 2.
Squeamish, just sad.
It is sad. They're a huge commitment in both time, energy, and money. Time being like the biggest one. You have to spend so much time with these birds, otherwise they just like disconnect from you and all your training is just lost. It's constantly one step forward, one step back. And if you're not training enough,
2 steps back.
1 step forward, 2 steps back. Hey, little bears. Nasty meat now. Maybe she might go for the bag. Oh shit! No.
Carol.
I thought she might do that. No, Carol. That sucked. You little bastard. Can't be a control freak. You gotta be super, super dialed and extremely prepared. I usually take 20 minutes to prepare before I ever take Carol out. Like, you have to have everything ready. All your meat cut up in the bag and everything. I forgot one step. I forgot to put the plastic bag in the leather bag and hide it.
You can't be a control freak, though. You have to be prepared, but be flexible with the results.
It's not a domesticated animal. They're not tame. They merely tolerate you, and you work up little tricks to be able to work with them. That was sweet. That's so sweet. She doesn't even need to beat her wings because she's going downhill. She just glides in. That was awesome. Part of getting your falconry license, you need to work with a sponsor. You need to be able to listen to what they say. They have more experience than you. They've been doing this for years. And somebody who doesn't take orders or thinks that they know better is someone that's not going to do very well in this sport. Every single thing my sponsors told me has been like 100% on the money. There's so many mistakes that I would have made if I didn't have Brad's counseling. It's just so important. And when I first got into this, I didn't think I needed a sponsor. I thought it was really stupid that I had to get a sponsor. I thought, hey, I could just do it myself. There's plenty of things that I've taught myself. This is not the sport that you want to teach yourself. There's just too many variables. It's very difficult. And yeah, she's doing really well though. Today is kind of a crappy day as far as her behavior goes, but overall, the fact that she's sitting here perched with me and she hasn't taken off or anything, she's been dependable and reliable. And all of these techniques and things, most everything I learned online, but without Brad kind of backing me up and showing me that I've done things correctly and changing little habits here and there, I don't think I'd be able to do this properly. You wanna go? Look out for the wires, Carol. That was so sick. That was by far her furthest run, for sure. That was good. Good job, Carol. Good job, Carol. You wanna go up there? Huh? Last thing, number 10, is that it can be expensive depending on what your budget is. Total, I've probably spent a little over $1,000. The license itself is free, but the most expensive thing you'll probably spend money on is getting an enclosure. We were able to repurpose an old shed. Some people have to build them from scratch. And on top of that, you need to have space to fly your bird. There's also all of her gear, all the leather stuff. You want to get good quality stuff. If you're trying to save some money, you can make it yourself. There's lots of tutorials online. But depending on what your budget is, it can be kind of expensive. That list of 10 are they're good things to think about. I don't necessarily want to discourage people from getting into falconry. I personally think there's tons of room for the hobby, and there's so many people that would be interested, and that we should share and teach falconry, because it's just so awesome. But you got to do it properly, and you need to find sponsors, and finding a sponsor is one of the hardest parts of getting involved in falconry. So just keep looking, put yourself on a waiting list if possible. The best way to get started is to talk to your Fish and Wildlife department. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, it helps me a ton. And thank you so much for watching. And we're gonna go do some other stuff today.
Get some work done this weekend. Don't forget to live.
Come to me, my woodland friends. Oh, we should introduce them to Carol. Let's go buy him a loaf of bread. Let's do it. We'll be back. Stay. Stay. Fancy. You think they're Hawaiian ducks? That'll work. How much are those? That's not enough. That was a whole herd of ducks.
What if they go into the street? What if they decide that this is a good place to live, and then they just...
They're laying down in the street because they're so tired and hungry that
people like us
that they're laying down.
Think that
You're letting the trolls get to you. You're thinking about what are people going to complain about online, and then you're acting on them. Oh, they're so cute. I am the duck tamer. duck tamer.
Here we go.